So now we'll go to the Q&A section.
It is one question in the box already.
We'll go to the Q&A section. We'll take the questions in the chat, take the questions in the box, and of course, any questions on Cash App, we will call out first. Let's see something's in the box. These two?
Yeah, start with the bottom.
Okay, let's see. We got putting my question in here before I forget. How should you interpret angel numbers when you see them to receive the message they're sending you? So the interpret angel numbers, when it comes to numbers, well, first off, to interpret numbers, you need to understand what the numbers mean in the first place. You need to understand what 1 through 9 mean. Get the book Numbers in You by Lloyd Strayhorn. It's like $8 and it's very thick and it's small and compact, very portable. It will teach you all about the numbers and numerology. Okay. So you want to know what the numbers mean themselves. And then you can start to understand what they mean in combination. All right. It makes it easier if you understand what the zodiacs mean, understand what the elements and the planets and all these type of things, mean. Okay. Your understanding will grow over time as you see, the more you dive into the spiritual aspect of things and the esoteric and the sacred knowledge and the occult sciences, the more the spiritual guides will provide you in information, the more they will provide your intuition, the more they will unveil to you. The more that you dive into it, the more that they'll give you. That's how it works. So you're seeing like ones, well, once again, 11 means king. So you already, and it means vision, right? Now that you're not going to find that in a book that came, through spiritual practice, but the one itself is Leo, right? The 2 ones, the 2 lions, right? The 2 eyes, 1 and 1, vision, right? That was given to me. The king, how do I know it's king? Because if you break down the word king using the numerology chart, the Chaldean chart and the Pythagorean chart, right? Those 2 charts, you'll find it adds up to 11. So king adds up to 11, right? 22, it's more of a feminine energy because it adds up to queen. Queen adds up to 22. Also, the 2s are nurturing. The Cancer, so it's the motherly energy, right? The 33, well, that's 11 and the 22 together, okay? And you see the multiple 3s, well, you think about enlightenment. Why? The 33 vertebrae up the spine, the 33 steps of Freemasonry, the 33rd year that Jesus returned and then transcended. 33, 44. Well, once again, we're talking about the 2s. The 2s are in there, 22 and 22. Well, what does the queen have? What does the woman have? She is a portal, is she not? Does she not give birth? She's a portal. So then you have 2 portals, right? And the 4 points to a door. It's a doorway. So 44, you're seeing 2 doors. And one door to the other door, there has to be a transition. There's a portal there. So when you see 44, we're talking about portals. Where else do we see 44? When we're talking about the 144,000 angels that come crack out of the sky in the Bible. It is a portal. 44 is a portal. 55. Well, 5, the 5 points of man. 5 also in numerology equals God, as far as or I should say not equals God, it represents God, because man is in the image of God, right? So the God on earth, the 5. So you talk about 55, well, you're also talking about with Legba, okay? The man to the many doorways, all right? So Legba is he's like half God. He's like he's a God burdened with the limitations of man. If you watch him in movies, he has like these magical godlike powers, but he's stuck on earth like he's a regular human. Right? So when you see these fives, you understand that there's a God self that's being tapped into, but not quite fully realized, but it's being tapped into. You see the sixes, the multiple sixes. Okay, well, you know that has something to do with the activation. We're on Route 66 for March 11th. Route 66, right? Especially if you see the triple sixes, 666. People think of the mark of the beast. Right? But what's the mark of the beast? Truly, on a spiritual plane, not just on the physical plane, when we think about chips in our arms, things like that. The mark of the beast is the melanin, is the black hole. It is carbon. The chips that people are putting into their arms and into their heads are filled that give us the ability to tap into other chips, from phone to phone, from chip to chip. It's carbon. It's melanin. And carbon and melanin, if you look at it on a periodic table, is 666. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. That is the mark of the beast. So you're talking about activation when you see the sixes. 777. Now you know you're tapping into the highest self. 777. The number of completion. Why is the number of completion? Because after that it becomes 8, and it's just 2 circles put together. It just becomes 2 infinity sign. It's two infinite time portals put together. So that's why 7 is the completion number. But the 777. Now you know you're tapping to the highest self. That's why it's such a good luck number, because you are in your highest vibration. 888. You see all the 8s, right? Now you know you are. There's a transition in time. Maybe there's a change in the time loop of things. And then you're seeing 9s going across the board. Look for death. Look for rebirth. Look for something new. Look for a change. Look for a move. Look for a shift that's happening in physical reality, where this is destroyed and now this is built. This person dies or this person is born. The same person.
Yes.
All right. So these are some examples of how these angel numbers work. You know. But once again, as you dive into it and you learn it, what's going to happen is your ancestors and guides are going to provide you with how they're using the angel numbers to communicate with you, and it might be slightly different from what I'm saying to you, or just more specific than what I'm saying to you, where it's still meaning the same thing, but it's just more specific to what you need. So part of it is you have to do part of the work, which is learning the numbers and studying the numbers. The other part of it is you have to do these spiritual meditations and talking to and offerings or whatever to get in congruence with those guides, so that you can come to more intuitive understandings of these numbers. I'll share. And if anyone's saying a bunch of numbers, just know that that's the as was said in the box. When you're seeing a bunch of numbers, that is the first phase in your vibrational transitioning. That's phase number 1. So everyone who's like, I see a bunch of numbers, 3s, 5, 6, 7, whatever. That is phase number 1. That means you're on step 1. It's a good sign, but so far you just took the first step vibrationally, right? There's other things that you'll start to see a lot of and start to experience a lot of as you go up in vibration. But that's just step one, is in phase one when it comes to seeing a bunch of numbers.
I blocked them. Next.
Can I get a hat and stone special, please?
Fashion. I'm over here kind of second guessing my yes because I love this one. Do we have any more like this? Any hats?
No,
Then this color?
Not that color. No.
Fashion. I might have to renege. You dig? Because I love her.
I think you suggested the book before as well. I definitely will look to get a copy. Yeah, yes, Nikki, so pretty. It's on Amazon. It's on Amazon. What's a good source on studying angel numbers? Like I said, you want to study numbers, so you want to go to Lloyd Strayhorn's book you can go on Amazon, called the Numbers in You.
I feel bad because I said yes.
Also, there's another numbers guy, King. What is his name? King Simon, I think is his name, who is an apprentice who was an apprentice of Lloyd Strayhorn. I believe it's King Simon. He also has some numbers books as well. I've been in phase one a long time then. Well, when you go into the other phases, you'll still see the angel numbers as well. So it doesn't mean that the angels go away. But the other phases start to like stand out to you, right? But being phase one, most people do stay in phase one a long time. I'm not going to lie. They stay in phase one a long time. Because they don't take the leap to get into the other phases. When do you think the solar flare is going to hit this realm? I don't know. Was it like Abraham?
Mm-hmm.
Abraham, I don't know. I don't pay attention to the solar flare thing. I'm kind of uncertain about about solar flares, because because the sun isn't hot, so I'm like uncertain about how the solar flare thing works, and how true it is, and how I would say that solar flares are probably real, but as far as them they're not heated though, so then I don't really know how the solar flare would even affect us. Therefore, I'm not sure about the whole solar flare thing. Peace, the sacral rose. What is the next phase, or how do you know you progress to the next phase? But there's really many phases. I don't know if they go in the same order for everybody. I'm not sure. But I know one of the distinct phases is seeing messages. When you start to see messages all the time in things. I'm not going to say specifically in what, because then your mind will start to could start to create it. And that won't necessarily be you could get confused whether I'm in the next phase or if I'm just like kind of I'm just projecting that phase, type deal. So I don't want to like confuse you on when it comes to like which phase are you in. Instead, I'm going to tell you that you'll see messages. You'll see a lot of messages. And there's a certain way you're going to see these messages. It's a very like distinct way you're going to see these messages. It's going to be much more clear. It's not going to be like, okay, a dream, or like we get messages in dreams all the time, or like somebody dropped a pen or something. It's going to be way more in your face than that. And
also, would you say being able to decode the numbers is also another sign of progression. Like if you're able to, you're seeing 111 instead of like everybody look at 111 as new beginnings, but if you're able to break down the vibration of that 111, that is a confirmation that you progress because you're able to connect it to other things now. Yeah.
Well, she asked if that's a indication that you progress. Well, if you couldn't understand the numbers before, but now when you look at it, you understand the numbers, well, then technically that's a progression. But if you're talking about if you've gone to the next phase vibrationally, that doesn't necessarily mean that you've gone to the next phase. It could, but it doesn't necessarily mean that.
I see.
Any more questions?
It's 1 o'clock.
It is 1 o'clock. Go ahead and hit the that button. Will AI be able to exist, as Abraham says, will AI be able to exist in the new paradigm we are stepping into? It's a good question. Will AI be able to exist in the new paradigm we're stepping into? Well, no. First off, we are AI. If the God source being is where we all come from, then everything below that is an artificial level of intelligence of the source. So we are all AI.
AI.
So I'll put that out there first, right? But you're talking about the AI that we're building now, right? So will it be able to exist in a new paradigm that we are stepping into? It depends on how you look at that, because if we already live in an AI construct, then technically it's already here and it always was here. It always be wherever we believe we go. So that's hard to answer. If we already live within, because we in some way or another, we live within an AI structure, right? So there's that. But let's say we don't. Let's say we don't live in an AI structure, right? Will it be able to exist? Well, there's a great possibility that as we shift into these new paradigms, we will use AI in those new paradigms. So the answer to your question really is not will the AIs exist in a new paradigm, it's will the AIs exist in your paradigm? Because all experiences and possibilities are existing right now at all times. So there is a vibration, well, I'm sure there's many vibrations, but there's at least one where the AI does exist in that paradigm, right? The question is, will you be in that paradigm? And when I say you, meaning will your consciousness be in that paradigm, or will it be in a different paradigm where the AI does not exist? That's totally up to wherever your consciousness decides to go. So I don't know what that answer is for you. I don't know. I don't know what that answer is, for myself either. I don't know what paradigm I'm going to end up choosing or have already chosen. I don't know. But there is a paradigm where it does exist. There's paradigms where it doesn't exist. It just depends on where you're at. Also pay attention to your thoughts when you see the numbers. Shay, Angelic, Shy, or Shay. I'm in a transition to that phase, but because I see the messages now and they're getting clearer. That's good, Nikki, so pretty. You're welcome. Bohemian poet. Because of you, I religiously wear my facelet, queen. Love you.
Ashe, Asheen.
Shay. Hi, how are you doing? Peace and love. Peace. We're doing well. What was that? Grantley.
Grantley C.
All right. Y'all are on late tip.
Oh, we on our way out.
Yeah, Mystique, we about to be out.
We tipping all right.
So let's go ahead and
Tipping on both phones.
I don't see any more questions. Y'all so beautiful. Thank you.
These names, y'all be coming with some name.
Yes, yeah. Yes, I am.
Oh. Neutered. I said nutter. Yes, I am none.
Yes, I am.
Neutered.
Newt the third, maybe. Newt. Newt